Hi to all, welcome to Have channel. You're watching health, environment, fire safety, food safety, sustainability solutions. Today we are discussing very interesting topic, that is what is the COVID-19 prevention and control in schools, and what is the role of that school administrators and school teachers, parents, caregivers and students, children's. So, what exactly the prevention methods as per that World Health Organizations? So, before that, everybody knows that COVID-19 pandemic is going on. So, what is the COVID-19? COVID-19 is a disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus. COVID-19. Co means co stands for corona, V for virus, and D for disease. So this disease was referred as 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV. The COVID-19 virus is a new virus linked to the same family of the viruses as severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, and sometimes of common cold. So everybody knows, I think the symptoms is coming to that. The symptoms can include fever, cough and shortness of breath. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia or breathing difficulties. So it is, how does COVID-19 spread? Means the virus is transmitted through direct contact with the respiratory droplets of an infected person through coughing and sneezing. So individuals can also be infected from and touching surfaces contaminated with the virus and touching their face, example eyes, nose, mouth. The COVID-19 virus may survive on surfaces for several hours, but simple disinfectants can kill it. So in this main, that presently the treatment is not available. There is no currently available vaccine for COVID-19. However, many of the symptoms can be treated, and getting early care from a healthcare provider can make the disease less dangerous. These are all several clinical trials that are being conducted to evaluate potential therapeutics for COVID-19. So, how can the spread of COVID-19 be slowed down or prevented? So, as with our respiratory infections like that, flu or common cold, or public health measures are critical to slow and spread of illness. Public health measures are everyday preventive action is that staying at home when sick, covering mouth and nose with a flexed elbow or tissue when coughing or sneezing, dispose of used tissues immediately, washing hands often with soap and water, and cleaning frequently touched surfaces and objects. So these are all the preventive method. So coming toward that, the role of that public health team stated, what is that school administrators and teachers and staff of that action for this COVID-19? What is the basic principles of as per World Health Organization? The following the base principles, you have to know teachers and students and staff safe at school and help the stop the spread of this disease. The recommendation of for healthy schools are sick students, teachers and other staff should not come to school. Schools should be enforce regular hand washing with safe water and soap, alcohol rub, hand sanitizer or chlorine solution, and at a minimum daily disinfection and cleaning of school surfaces. Schools should provide water, sanitation and waste management facilities and follow environmental cleaning and decontamination procedures. Schools should promote social distancing, a term applied to certain actions that are taken to slow down the spread of highly contagious disease, including limiting large group of people coming together. So understand that basic information about that COVID-19, including its symptoms, complications, and how it is the transmitted and how to prevent transmission. Stay informed about COVID-19 through reputable sources such as a UNICEF, World Health Organization, and National Health Ministry advisors. Be aware of fake information, myths that may circulate by word of mouth or online. So know the facts, what exactly going on, and ensure safe school operations. Ensure safe school operations. So the safe schools environments is that update to develop the school emergency and contingency plans. You can work with officials to guarantee schools are not used at shelters, treatment units. You can make it the isolation centers, and consider the cancelling any community events and meetings that usually take place on school premises based on risk, and reinforce frequent hand washing and sanitation, and procure needed print supplies. Prepare and maintain hand washing stations with soap and water, and if possible, place alcohol based hand rub in each classroom and entrances and exits and near lunchrooms and toilets. And clean and disinfect school buildings, classrooms, and especially water and sanitation facilities at least once a day, particularly surfaces that are touched by many people: railings, lunch tables, sports equipment, door and window handles, toys, teaching and learning aids. So implement social distancing practices, staggering the beginning and end of the school day, cancelling assemblies, sports games, and other events that create crowded conditions. When possible, create space for children's desks to be at least 1 meter apart. Teach and model creating space and avoiding unnecessary touching, and establish procedures. Establish procedures if students, and plan establish plans if students or staff become unwell. So plan ahead with local health authorities, school health staff, and update emergency contact list. Ensure a procedure for separating sick students and staff from those who are well without creating stigma, and a process for informing parents, caregivers, and consulting with healthcare providers, health authorities wherever possible. Students, staff may need to be referred directly to a health facilities depending on the situation, context, or sent home. Share procedures with staff, parents, and students ahead of time. This is the procedure if students or staff become unwell. And you can promote information sharing. Coordinate and follow guidelines from the National Health and Education Authorities. Share known information with staff, caregivers, and students, providing updated information on these disease situations, including prevention and control efforts at school. And reinforce that caregivers should alert the school and healthcare authorities if someone in their home has diagnosed with COVID-19, and keep their child at home. Utilize parent teacher committees and other mechanisms to promote information sharing. Also be sure to address children's questions and concerns, including through the development of child friendly materials such as posters which can be placed on notice boards in other restrooms and other central location wherever the visible respective locations. And adapt school policies where appropriate. Develop the flexible attendance and sick leave policies that encourage students and staff to stay home when sick or when caring for sick family members. Discourage the use of perfect attendance awards and incentives. Identify critical job functions and positions, and plan for alternative coverage by cross training staff. Plan for possible academic calendar changes, particularly in relations to breaks and exams. Monitor school attendance, and you can monitor the school attendance. Implement school absenteeism monitoring systems to track students and staff absence and compare against usual absenteeism patterns at the school. Alert local health authorities about large increases in student and staff absenteeism due to respiratory illness. And also you have to plan for continuity of learning. In the case of absenteeism, sick leave, or temporary school closures, Support continued access to quality education, use of online or e-learning strategies, assigning reading and exercise for home study, radio, podcast or television broadcasts of academic contents, assigning teachers to conduct remote daily or weekly follow-up with students, review and develop accelerated education strategies. So this is the strategies for that you can continue to the learning of plan, and implemented that targeted health educations. You can integrate the disease prevention and control in daily activities and lessons. Ensure content is age, gender, ethnicity, and disability responsive and activities are built into existing subject. So this is the uh, process of that how to mitigate and how to plan for your strategies in COVID-19 process. So what address the mental health psychological support needs. So encourage the children's or students to discuss their questions and concerns. Explain it is normal that they may experience different reactions and encourage them to talk to teachers if they have any questions or concerns. Provide information in an honest, age appropriate manner. Guide students on how to support their peers and prevent exclusion and bullying. Ensure teachers are aware of local resources for their own well being. Work with school health workers, social workers to identify and support students and staff who exhibit signs of disease or distress. And support vulnerable populations. Work with social systems, service systems to ensure continuity of critical services that may take place in schools, such as a health screenings, feeding programs, or therapies for children with special needs. You can consider the specific needs of children with disabilities and how marginalized populations may be more acutely impacted by the illness or its secondary effects. Examine any specific implications for girls that may increase their risk, such as a responsibility for taking care of the sick at home or exploitation when out of schools. You can make the checklist for the school administrators and teachers and staff for COVID-19. Promote and demonstrate regular hand washing and positive hygiene behavior and monitor their uptake. Ensure adequate, clean, and separate toilets for girls and boys. Ensure soap and safe water is available at age appropriate hand washing stations. Encourage frequent and thorough washing at least 20 seconds. And place hand sanitizers in toilets, classroom, halls, and near exits where possible. Ensure adequate, clean, and separate toilets or latrines for girls and boys. Clean and disinfect school buildings, classrooms, and especially water and sanitation facilities at least once a day, particularly surfaces that are touched by many people, railings, lunch tables, sports equipment, door and window handles, toys, teaching and learning aids, etc. So use sodium hypochlorite at 0.5% equivalent to 5000 ppm for disinfecting surfaces and 70% ethyl alcohol for disinfection for small items, and ensure appropriate equipment for cleaning staff. Increase airflow and ventilation where climate allows, open windows, use air conditions where available. Post sign encouraging good and respiratory hygiene practices. Ensure trash is removed daily and disposed of safely as per that Waste Management Rules Act. And next, what is the role of the parents and caregivers and community members as per World Health Organization? The COVID-19 is a new virus and we are still learning about how it affects children. So we know it is possible for people of any age to be infected with the virus, but so far there have been a relatively few cases of COVID-19 reported among the children. The virus can be fatal in cases so far mainly among older people with pre-existing medical conditions. So you can understand that COVID-19's conditions and including symptoms and complications, how it is transmitted and how to prevent the transmission. Stay informed about COVID-19 through reputable sources such as the UNICEF and WHO national authorities. And we can recognize that symptoms of COVID-19, coughing and fever, shortness of breath of your children. Seek medical advice by first calling your health facility provider and then take your child in if advised. Remember that symptoms of COVID-19 such as a cough or fever can be similar to those flu or the common cold, where are the lot are more common. If your child is sick, keep them home from school and notify the school of your child absence and symptoms. Request reading and assignments so that students can continue learning while at home. Explain to your child what is happening in simple words and reassure them that they are safe. Keep children in school when healthy. If your child is not displaying any symptoms such as a fever or cough, it's best to keep them in school unless a public health advisory or other relevant warning or official advice has been issued affecting your child's schools. Instead of keeping children out of school, teach them good hand and respiratory hygiene practices for school and elsewhere, like frequent hand washing, covering a cough or sneeze with a flexed elbow or tissue, then throwing away the tissue into a closed bin, and not touching their eyes, mouth, or nose if they have not properly washed their hands. So you can be washing hands is that there is a steps is available for that. We are usually used for that mainly 5 steps. Step 1 is the wet hands with running water. Apply enough soap to cover wet hands and scrub all surfaces of hands including backs of hands, between fingers, under nails for at least 20 seconds and rinse thoroughly with running water and dry hands with a clean dry cloth, single use towel or hand dryer as available. So wash your hands often, especially before and after eating, after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing, going to the bathroom, toilets, latrines, and whenever your hands are visible dirty. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Always wash hands with soap and water if hands are visibly dirty. Help children cope with stress. Children may respond to stress in different ways. Common responses include having difficulties sleeping, bedwetting, having pain in stomach or head, and being anxious, withdrawn, angry, clingy, or afraid to be left alone. Respond to children's reactions in a supportive way and explain to them that they are normal reactions to an abnormal situation. So listen to their concern and take time to comfort them and give them affection. Reassure they are safe and praise them frequently. If possible, create opportunities for children to play and relax. Keep regular routines and schedules as much as possible, especially before they go to sleep, or help create new ones in new environment. Provide age appropriate facts about what was happened. Explain what is going on. Give them clear examples on what they can do help protect themselves and other from infection. Share information about what could happen in a reassuring way. And for example, if your child is feeling sick and staying at home or other hospital, you could say you have to stay at home at the hospital because it is safer for you and your friends. I know it is hard, maybe scary or even boring at times, but we need to follow the rules to keep ourselves and others safe. Things will go back to normal soon. And a checklist for the parents or caregivers for community members. As a parent, as a caregivers, that you have to follow that to monitor your child's health and keep them home from school if they are ill. Teach and model good hygiene practices for your children. Wash your hands with soap and safe water frequently. If soap is and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Always wash hands with soap and water if hands are visible dirty. Ensure that safe drinking water is available and toilets or latrines are clean and available at home. Ensure waste is safely collected, stored, and disposed with closed bins. Cough and sneeze into tissue of your elbow and avoid touching your faces, eyes, mouth, nose. Encourage your children to ask questions and express their feelings with you and their teachers. Remember that your child may have different reactions to stress. Be patient, understanding. Prevent stigma by using facts and reminding students to be considerate of one another. Coordinate with the school to receive information and ask how can you support school safety efforts through parent and teacher committee. And students and teachers, the role of the students and teacher prevention methods of COVID-19 as per that World Health Organizations. Children and young people should understand basic age appropriate information about coronavirus disease COVID-19, including its symptoms, complications, how it is transmitted, and how to prevent transmission. So, in the students and children should be follow that as per the guidelines. Can make it that checklist in your own way as per that standards. In a situation like that, it is normal to feel sad, worried, confused, scared, or angry. Know that you are not alone and talk to someone you trust, like your parent or teacher, so that you can help keep yourself and your school safe and healthy. These are all the students and children's guidelines in COVID-19 pandemic situations. And ask questions, educate yourself, and get information from reliable sources. Protect yourself and others. Wash your hands frequently, always with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Remember, do not touch your face. Do not share cups, eating utensils, food, or drinks with others. Be a leader in keeping yourself, your school, family, and community healthy. Share what you learn about preventing disease with your family and friends, especially with younger children. Model good practices, good hygiene practices such as sneezing or coughing into your elbow and washing your hands, especially for younger family members. Don't stigmatize your peers or tease anyone about being sick. Remember that virus does not follow geographical boundaries, ethnicities, age or ability or gender. Tell your parents, another family member or caregivers if you feel sick and ask to stay home. And coming to age specific health education. Below suggestions on how engage students different ages to preventing controlling that spread of COVID-19 viruses. Activities should be contextualized further based on the specific needs of children, language and ability or gender or extra. Preschool children's, you can focus on good health behaviors such as covering coughs and sneezes with the elbow and washing hands frequently. Sing a song while washing hands to practice the recommended 20 seconds duration. Children can practice washing their hands with hand sanitizer. Develop a way to track hand washing and reward for frequent timely hand washing. Use puppets or dolls, demonstrate symptoms, sneezing, coughing, fever, and what to do if they feel sick. You can explain, and their hand hurts, their stomach hurts, they feel hot or extra tired, and how to comfort someone who is sick. Cultivating empathy and safe caring behaviors, and have children sit further apart from one another and have them practice stretching their arms out of flap their wings. They should keep enough space. Do not touch their hands. And coming to primary school kids, make sure to listen children's concerns and answers their questions in age appropriate manner. Don't overwhelm them with too much information. Encourage them to express and communicate their feelings. Discuss the different reactions they may experience and explain that these are normal reactions to abnormal situation. Empathize, the children can do a lot of to keep themselves and others safe. Introduce the concept of social distancing, standing further away from friends, avoiding large crowds, and not touching the people if you don't need to, etc. And focus on good health behaviors such as a covering uh, and sneezes, coughing with elbow, and washing hands, help children understand the basic concept of disease prevention and control, use exercise that demonstrate how germs can spread, example by putting colored water in spray bottle and spraying over uh, a spray overing a piece of white paper, observe how far the droplets travel, demonstrate why it is important to wash hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, and put a small amount of glitter in students hands and have them wash them with just water. Notice how much glitter remains, then have them wash for 20 seconds with soap and water. To have students analyze text to identify high risk behaviors and suggest modifying behaviors. For example, a teacher comes to school with a cold. He sneezes and covers it with his hand. He shakes hands with a colleague. He wipes his hands after with a handkerchief. Then, what did the teachers do that was risky? What should he have done instead? So, and coming to lower secondary schools, make sure to listen to students' concerns, their questions. Empathize that students can do a lot to keep themselves and others safe. Introduce the concept of social distancing. Focus on good health behaviors such as covering coughs and sneezes with the elbow and washing hands, and remind the students that they can model healthy behaviors for their families. Encourage students to prevent and address stigma, and discuss the different reactions they may experience and explain these are normal reactions to abnormal situation. Encourage them to express and communicate their feelings. Build students agency and have them promote facts and public health, and incorporate relevant health education to other subjects. Science can cover the study of viruses, disease transmission, and the importance of vaccinations. Social studies can focus the history of pandemics and evolution of policies and public health and society. The media literacy lessons can empower students to critical thinkers and makers, effective communicators, and active citizens. And upper secondary school students, make sure to listen to students concerns and answers their questions. Emphasize the students can do a lot of keep themselves and others safe. Introduce the concept of social distancing and focus on good health behaviors such as covering coughs and sneezes with elbow and washing hands. Encourage the students to prevent and address stigma. Discuss the different reactions they may experience and explains their normal reactions to an abnormal situation. Encourage them to express to communicate their feelings. Incorporate relevant health education into subject. So for all this science based virus subject and how to transmit it, and social also same to be history of the pandemic and their secondary effects, investigate the how public policies can promote tolerance and social cohesion, and have students make their in the public service announcement and social media, radio, or even local or broadcasting. So media literacy lessons can empower students to be critical thinkers and makers, effective communicators, and active citizens. So overall, it is the main how to control the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. It is the best practices you have to follow. So for all administrators, students, and caregivers and parents, must and should be aware about that COVID-19 best practices is that to control the COVID-19 transmission, best practices is that number one is the social distancing, hand washings, and you can be positive and promote that positive culture in your area, and create the health education and your healthy manners in your workplace. So let us understand for that COVID-19's transmissions, prevention of transmission, best practices. Please follow these rules and regulations. Thank you. Thanks a lot.